Call this regular meeting of the Bullitt County Board of Education to order, please. We need to adopt the agenda with the following change. Remove from consent items contract 5E10, the MOAs with the Mount Washington Police Department and the Shepherdsville Police Department, leaving only the MOA with the Hillview Police Department. Recommendation, please.
Recommendations to adopt the agenda as it's amended.
As a minute, I need a Nita for a motion. I need a second. Linda, all those in favor? Yes, adopt agenda. Presentations, Pledge of Allegiance. Would everybody join me in the pledge, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reviewing our board team commitments. To improve our effectiveness, the board team for Bullitt County Schools commits to maintaining primary focus on student learning, continuously reviewing, defining, and working toward district goals, listening to each other, speaking freely, working and learning together, and supporting one another. After careful deliberation, supporting the majority's decision regarding shared goals for continuously improving district-wide student learning. Agree to disagree respectfully. And delegate implementation of board decisions to the superintendent and leadership team. Ms. Kaylee, would you like to do your reminder, please?
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the July 24th meeting of the Bullitt County Board of Education. The board does welcome public comment during tonight's meeting, but in order to address the board, you must register to do so by listing your name, your address, and the topic on which you'll be speaking. Each speaker will get 3 minutes with a tone signaling 30 seconds in your time, and then another tone at the end of your allotted time. The board will not respond or make comments on any presentations tonight, but the superintendent will make note and will follow up as needed on any topics discussed. So this now will serve as our final call to register to address the board tonight. Me again?
Yes, you
You're
again.
up.
All right, so we always like to start off our meetings here in Bullitt County with celebrating our students and staff because our students and staff matter most to us. So tonight we have one recognition, Mr. Silas Goki, so if he can come up to the front. So Silas, during the month of June, this CES fourth grader traveled to Washington, D.C. to participate in the National History Bee. He was the only student there representing Kentucky. In his K to fourth grade age division, Silas was named National History Bee quarterfinalist and the U.S. Military History National Champion. So congratulations, Silas. We've got a little medal for you. Yeah.
Wow, we're so proud of you. Good job.
And then we're going to go out here and take a picture. So congratulations.
Okay. Construction update, Ms. Kate.
Good evening, everyone. We're coming to an end on football stadiums, but I'll show you progress so far. Bullitt Central's press box was set last week, and since this picture was even taken, they've actually completed bleachers almost to the very edge. So there's a lot more progress out there than was even done on the 18th. Turf has been laid completely. Has it been glued down yet, Mr. Roth? So you'll see Bullitt Central's field is looking much more like it should. North Bullitt, turf is complete. I believe final track surfacing is going on in the next week. Just to show you progress, I think this was actually taken on the 10th. This was steel for the home grandstands, and then within 10 days they had already set the floorboards and even further along than this at North Bullitt currently. See a picture of their field and mascot. Bullitt East is not as far along visually as the other schools, although they had more underground work and kind of more infrastructure to go. Because their game is September 8th, excuse me, they're going to have the turf following that. The one benefit here was that the track was removed from the field so that they can do the field last. I know they're shifting over there pretty soon. This is the sidewalk out in front of where the eventual field house is slated to go if that design holds. And then we have several change orders on the agenda tonight, so I was going to review those. Please feel free to ask me any questions. Change order 7 is to put concrete paving at the end zone, and the north field shows it here, so that there's about 4 foot wide concrete between the track and then the edge of the fence, so you never have to take lawnmowers inside. That's going to happen at Central and North. So the fields will all have hard surface, permanent, no gravel between the track and field. This also covered taking out all the gravel under the old Bullitt East, now visitor bleachers, so that everything is hardscaped and just much more maintainable. Change order 8 was for press box revisions driven by the press box designer, which was delegated design, which caused our electrical contractor to have to do more work inside for wiring. This cost covers all 3 press boxes to accommodate those data changes. Change order 9, you actually approved proceeding on a time and material basis at the June 12th meeting. This change order actually confirms time actually spent, so it had been approved for $21,600 and it came in at $19,900, so below that allotted amount. And change order 10, one I really wanted to go over today, was June was a wetter month than the 20-year norm by 6 days. So we are allotted 7 days for June and we had 13. So Calhoun Construction is asking for a 6-day business day extension from August 1st to August 9th. That date is for the field, not for the bleachers or grandstands, because those are actually a September 1st. You'll see Calhoun through the end, through September 1st, because they're responsible for coordinating the bleachers, but the fields are supposed to be ready by this date, should you approve it, for players and athletes to start practicing on the turf field before game day. So just as a reminder, Calhoun knows the current football schedule: Bullitt Central August 25th, North Bullitt September 1st, and Bullitt East September 8th. And that's why Bullitt Central got its press box first, to get all that wiring done and then be able to pace the other press boxes that are going to be set at the other 2 schools. And then the final change order is actually a revision of something that you all approved at a March board meeting. The changes to the design itself of the turf football fields had thought it was a material change order that affected a DPO. So that was approved at $35,291. What it actually was the Moats Group's design of these fields. It was labor, so it is subject to overhead and profit from the general contract. So the change of this amount is $3,900. So we're voiding the old change order you approved, and we're bringing this one forward. So I'll just say that contingency amounts got a little squirrely as we were rectifying this. So I'll say that what's remaining in the contract now, as far as contingency that's already allotted, is $206,000. And if you approve change order 10, the request for time, Calhoun has 17 days, calendar days left on their contract, and Toadvine has 43 days left on their contract. So just to let you know where we're sitting contingency and how much time we have left. I've also heard that I think all earthwork is complete across all fields. We do have some unsuitable soil billing, which I'll review with you when I get those documents compiled and reviewed. So we did have some billing towards unsuitable soils to go over with you that exceeded the allowance amount, but I'll provide all that to you at the work session, likely. We are still not going to come up against the contingency amount that's remaining. So I'm open for questions if you all have any.
Matt, did you have something you were telling us about the field you were looking at?
Yeah, I have a question and then a comment. Do you know, so the substantial completion date is for the entire project, all 3 schools?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Do you know if North Bullitt and Bullitt Central, which are a little bit ahead of Bullitt East, will be ready for soccer to play on, which is before football?
What date
Or
does soccer begin? The fields themselves would be August 9th if this change order is approved.
Right.
The bleachers would be September 1st. So field usage, I think, is of August 9th. If we all agree and those fields are complete.
That's pretty close. I know soccer starts August the 7th, but I don't know if they have home games maybe until the 9th. So, I just didn't know if that's something that we'll have to discuss with soccer at those two.
That
Not
hasn't been on our radar, but we can discuss it with Calhoun ahead of time. Because I don't think the fields are as behind at some of the schools as
Okay.
other things.
I had not had a chance to see any of the schools in person except for Bullitt East, which is very close to my office. But on the way over here today, stopped at Bullitt Central, and even though I've seen the aerial photos and they're impressive, like when you walk up to the stadiums, it's impressive, and I'm looking forward to our home crowds as well as the visiting crowds getting that impression when they arrive as well. So it's looking good.
We were north today with our LTM, and Mr. Wood and I walked out there during one of our breaks, and I know Mr. Roth was out there as well, and it doesn't even look like the same facility. With the track surfaces down, you get a really good sense. The bleachers are far enough along, you get a really good sense of what that is going to look like totally. The new scoreboards are up. Out there, the goalposts are already set and ready. The play clocks are ready. I mean, with the tree lines gone there, and you got a nice view of that field that's back behind the game field there. It's a really nice setup. Really nice setup. We're really pleased how they're turning out.
So it sounds like they're pretty much on schedule.
They're on schedule, yeah.
That's good. That's real good.
If the rain holds out. I don't like the rain.
We'll be all right.
Yep.
The heat holds up.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I believe so.
All right, thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Communications, audience comments. We have no one signed up. Okay. Next, superintendent's report.
Yes, sir. So we are in full gear up mode for the start of the 23-24 school year. It's going to be here in just over 2 weeks, believe it or not. And so wanted to let you guys know that we have filled 2 more of our leadership positions that we're excited about. Mitzi Phelan is going to be the new AP at Zoneton Middle School. She's coming to us from Shelby County. And then today we announced Jamie Wyman is the new principal at Maryville Elementary School. She's got tons of experience as an AP principal, education recovery specialist with the state. She's coming to us from JCPS. She's been a principal there at an elementary school for the last 10 years. And so we are super excited to welcome her to Maryville. We have interviews scheduled tomorrow at Bullitt Lick Middle School, so we hope to be able to announce a hire there very, very soon, and that will take care. And we also have closing in on a hire for assistant principal at Freedom Elementary as well. So we should have that pretty soon, and that will take care of all of our leadership positions. I don't have the exact number yet of still certified and classified vacancies that we have, but that's something that I will get to you in my weekend review this week. I know that's something that you guys are interested in, and so we'll share an update with that this week. Wanted to remind all of you that August 2nd is our new teacher induction program. An orientation that will be at Bullitt Central High School at 8 o'clock. So we would invite you to come and greet all of our new teachers if you're available, and welcome you to have some breakfast with us that morning as well. And again, that's August the 2nd next week, Bullitt Central at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Any comments? Questions?
I had a question. In the past, we have received a report from the counselors. And on there, it talked about how much time they had spent with students, how much time they'd spent with administrative. And we were supposed to have gotten that sometime this year, and I haven't seen that yet. Did it come out and I just haven't seen it? This is the one that goes to the state.
One that goes to the state, no, that hasn't come out yet. They don't, the one that goes to the state is only done once a year, and that's in the November. It's like October, November.
Yeah.
Well, we were told we were gonna get something mid-year of this year. Am I thinking of something else?
The one I gave you mid-year was the state one that we got back. So what happens is we submit it to the state, and then they take all the data, and then they send it back, and that's what I gave you all her.
Okay.
Back, yes.
Okay, so we can expect this then
That will-
November-ish.
They usually send it to, I want to say they send it about, the survey has to be completed maybe by the end of October, but we don't usually get the data until December, January, around there, because they take it all and compile it.
Be nice if we could get it when school starts, so plans could be made, but, okay, that was the only thing I had. Thanks.
Other items from board, anyone else?
Just other clarification on the new teacher event. How long would we plan on being there? Just
Yeah.
to say hello and
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah. And if you want to come a little early, then they start coming in around 7:30-ish, and then we usually start the program around 8, so.
Okay. Anything else from anybody?
Yeah, they are doing breakfast this year.
Yes, ma'am.
We have it.
Usually breakfast around
Okay.
usually introduces.
Anything else? Nobody else? Okay, all right. 5 consent items. Let's see, consent items, anybody have a chance to look those over? Any questions? Got a lot of stuff on there. Okay, we've got all those change orders on those, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Will we get more information on why the MOAs for the other 2 areas had to be?
Yes, I meant to mention that in my superintendent's report. So, and I'll go ahead and talk about that really quickly. We've obviously got new leadership in both of those 2 departments at the sheriff's office, or I'm sorry, at the Shepherdsville Police Department and the mayor's office, and same with Mount Washington. And so they have expressed a little bit of a concern with their staffing as well right now. And they made some suggestions to the MOA to us that we have some questions about. And so Sarah and I have been meeting, and will continue to meet with them. So we fully intend to have an agreement in place before the start of school. And we'll have coverage there regardless of whether or not we do. They've assured us of that as well. We just got some things to work through on their MOAs.
County Sheriff's Office.
It's on the agenda for tonight for approval.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we've got all this. Okay, anybody have any questions? Consent items? None? Okay, we need a recommendation for consent items.
It's approved the consent items as amended, noting that all items have been studied with individual recommendations and rationale being provided prior to the meeting in the full board packet on July 17th, 2023, which is available online.
Okay, we have a recommendation. I need a motion. I see Lisa. I need a second. Nita? Okay, any other discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? Yes, 5-0. Okay. Unfinished business, second reading, board policy update number 46. Dr. Baker.
Yes, so submitted are the 2023 KSBA annual policy updates. It's been reviewed by central office leadership staff. The requested additions and/or modifications have been revised to suit the needs of the district and in accordance with changes in administrative regulation or the law.
Okay. Recommendation?
Recommendations to approve the second reading of board policy number 46 as presented.
Okay, we've got a recommendation. I need a motion. Matt, second. Nita? Okay, any discussion? Linda? Do you?
I have concerns with 2 of the policies, 9.425 and 9.426. I'm a great believer in schools being under control, and this is the one where the principal can remove students after 3 times. Don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is I don't see anything that tells us about timelines or the process that follows that. So I feel like that should be something that we have so that everybody understands the timeline, including parents.
Yeah, so if it's an automatic, the way that the law is written is that it's an automatic, it goes to automatic expulsion after 3 removals from the classroom. So our due process policy is actually 09.431, which covers that. And at any time a student is removed or suspended from school, which in this instance would be suspended from school, the due process requirements are written out and laid out in that policy. So it would be the same due process procedures as it would be for a suspension.
But there are no timelines on this.
It's covered in the same policy. 04,
Which one?
09.431, which is also in our student code of conduct.
And then naming the facility, I've had several people ask me about that, and that is up for a second reading, and that's 5.11, if the people who've been wanting to know about that. So we would be voting on that tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've got a recommendation. I've got a motion. Any more discussion? None? Okay, all those in favor? 5-0. Okay. New business, request for part-time counselor. Thea?
Okay, Hebron Middle School Principal Chad Foster requests to add a part-time counselor to the staffing for the 23-24 school year. This position will allow the school counselors to spend more time with students for social and emotional support, for planning, etc., instead of administrative duties and testing responsibilities. Funding for this position will come from ESSER funds,
Okay.
So this is a 1 year.
23, 24,
Yes,
ESSER funds.
okay, okay. All right, I need a recommendation.
Approve the request for part-time counselor, Hebron Middle School as presented.
Okay, got a recommendation. I need a motion. Linda? Or a second? Nita? Any discussion? One thing I've got to, this is with ESSER funds, correct? They have enough to cover the rest of the year, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's just for 1 year, okay. All right, all those in favor? Yes, 5-0. Okay. Thea, I think you're still up.
Yes, sir. So Brooks Elementary School Principal, Ms. Betty Jo Davis, requests to add a part-time counselor to her Brooks Elementary School staffing for the 23-24 school year. The purpose for this request is to devote more time to students, and funding for this position for her school will come from her Title I funds.
Title I funds, okay. Recommendation?
Approve the request for part-time counselor, Brooks Elementary as presented.
Okay, got a recommendation. I need a motion. Linda? Second? Lisa? Any discussion? No discussion? Are all those in favor? Yes, 5-0. All right, Ms. Thea, request for part-time counselor,
Right.
Mount Washington Middle School.
Okay, Mount Washington Middle School Principal, Mr. Tim Ridley, requests to add a part-time counselor to his staffing for the 23-24 school year. And this position will be for 85 school days and will be funded through his SBDM Section 6 funds.
Okay. Recommendation?
Approve the request for part-time counselor position, Mount Washington Middle as presented.
Got a recommendation. I need a motion. Motion. Nita? Nita, says you. Okay, second. Matt? All right, Session.
I have a question. Okay, this, usually part-time is like half day or something, this is 85 days. So is it like a certain time of the year or?
I have Mr. Ridley in here just for those specific questions.
It is, I mean, it averages out 2, sometimes 3 weeks, or not 3 weeks, 3 days a week. And really, we had a part-time last year, half days, and really, that would be something that where we hired her or him and my counselor, Ms. Fenwick, sit down, because Ms. Fenwick might be out of the building for a counselor meeting or training, 1 week, so might need to work 3 days that week, so kids are still being seen when their needs are met. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion. We have second. All those in favor? Yes, 5-0. All right, yes, sir.
Okay, the last request today comes from Bullitt Central High School Principal, Mr. Joe Pat Lee. He requests the continuation of the behavior coach position for his staff. This is a 183-day, 7.25 hours a day classified position on the instructional tutor pay scale for the 23-24 school year. This behavior coach works with Tier 2 and Tier 3 students on behavior modifications and restorative practice. The behavior coach also works with teachers to mediate minor behavior issues, reducing major infractions, and keeping students in their learning environments as much as possible. So funding was previously from his ESSER Learning Forward funds, and now he's going to use his Title I and his SBDM funds.
Okay. Recommendation?
It's to approve behavior coach position at Bullitt Central High School as presented.
Okay, we got a recommendation. I need a motion. Lisa? Second? Nita? Okay, any discussion?
I have a question. Are you all where's Joe Pat?
He's right there.
Sorry. Are you all keeping any data or anything to show that this is really making a difference in the behavior of your students?
We have a data log of all the times that our current behavior coaches met with students. And so as far as seeing we're trying to track to see whether or not we have a decrease in the number of overall referrals versus how many times he's meeting with kids. It's tough to say right now because everything kind of spiked coming out of COVID. We're trying to get behaviors and that kind of stuff under control. I know last year, from when I was tracking his data all the way up until April, he had met with right around it was right about 1,100 different incidents where he met with kids throughout the school year. Now those aren't all like behavior incidents. Sometimes it's kids that he's formed relationships with him coming to see him because they're having just issues of anxiety or problems at So we see a big difference in school because it allows administrators to spend more time in the classroom. It takes some of those issues out of teachers' hands having to deal with that, which allows them to spend more time with all the other kids. And it's a good way to just take care of a quick problem and get the student right back in the class before that minor issue becomes a major outbreak. So,
Sounds great. Be interested to see how much more data you can show us at the end of next year to show that it's continuing to improve. Thank you.
So overall, Joe Pat, would you say it's working quite well or the way you want it to?
yes, I mean, for us, on what it does, just because we're always big on when people with kids instead of programs. And it gives another person to work with kids, and it gives us as administrators to spend more time in classrooms working with teachers than because we don't have as many major behavior issues, we have a lot of minor stuff. So we really have seen a difference in our school.
Is BC the only school that's using somebody like this, or do you know?
Yeah, we've got MTSS coaches in some of the other schools, but it's a behavior coach at BC's the only one using that.
Okay. Thank you again.
Okay. All right. We have a motion, second. All right, all those in favor? Yes, 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay. Contract extension.
All right, due to an investigation assigned during the month of June, requested is the extension of Bernice Nyarko's contract for up to 5 additional extended days in order to complete the investigation. Funds will come from the general fund.
Okay. Recommendation.
Approve the request to extend Bernice Narcos contract by 5 days as presented.
Okay. Got a recommendation. I need a motion. Nita, second. Lisa, any discussion? None? All those in favor? That's 5-0. All right. Mr. Smallwood.
Good evening. Requested is an LPN or RN position for a medically fragile student at Lebanon Junction Elementary School. If the student is absent, this medical health professional can serve the needs of other special needs students at our other schools. Supporting documentation is on file. Funding will come from IDEA funds with the general fund providing as backup if needed. Additional information is provided to you in the packet.
Okay. Recommendation?
Is to approve the request for a one-on-one LPN or RN for LJES student as presented. I will say this student is an MSD student with severe medical conditions that we feel like would be best serviced with a one-on-one. We're going to try the LPN route first. We think we can service them with that one rather than a registered nurse. But we're asking for either or here so we can get that filled before the start of the school year.
Okay. Recommendation, I need a motion. Okay, Nita, second. Lisa, any discussion?
I just have one question.
Yes.
Will this individual be aware that they may have to travel to another part of the county should that student be absent?
That would be communicated, yeah,
Okay.
upon their interview.
Is there a possibility we could get a list of all the different places that nurses are actually assigned? Not tonight, but at some point in the next week or so,
Oh,
just
yes.
to get an idea
Yes.
of, because it sounds like we're hearing more and more of students who need some type of assistance.
Yes.
So I'd like to know, where the nurses are.
Yeah, be glad to get that to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And we are still exploring avenues and routes for contract partnerships for school nurses in every school. So there's a couple.
It's still on the radar?
Still, yeah, there's a couple of groups that we're talking to as possibilities for that. So that could be coming once we set the working budget in November.
And we only have
October.
one nurse in this budget for this year, didn't we?
One additional, yes, ma'am.
One additional.
So this is on top of that too. I want to clarify that
Right.
also.
Okay.
This request, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Our recommendation, we got a motion. All right, all those in favor? 5-0. Thank you.
Ms. Smith wasn't here tonight, so I'll read for her, if that's okay.
All right, go ahead.
Requested is a change to the job title of Drug-Free Communities Project Coordinator to Drug-Free Coordinator. The current title position expires as the
Drug-Free Communities Grant expires, which is on September 30th, 2023. The position of drug-free coordinator will be funded either by a pending grant submission or from state-awarded project funds from Safe Schools Department. Jackie Roth, grant writer for the district, and Sarah Smith have written a grant proposal that will fund this position starting October 1st. If Bullitt County Public Schools is awarded the grant. However, the Safe Schools Department will fund this position only for the remainder of the 2023-2024 school year if the grant is not awarded to BCPS. Changing this title provides flexibility of the funding to continue this position at minimum for the remainder of this fiscal year and the 2023-2024 school year.
Okay. Recommendation.
The recommendation is to approve the job title change to drug-free coordinator as presented.
Okay, we have a recommendation. I need a motion. Linda. Second. Nita. Any discussion? No discussion? All those in favor? Yes, 5-0. Thank you. Okay. Anyone in the audience have anything they need to bring up or anything right now? Give everybody a chance. Before I call for a motion for adjournment, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. You behaved real. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. I need a motion for adjournment.
I want to hear more.
Nita? Second, Matt? All those in favor? Yes.